Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are so thrilled today to have our friends from Sharp Memorial Hospital and Sharp HealthCare. Joining me will be Sophia Lee. She'll be my co-host on our Spotlight show. She is a student filmmaker. How you doing, Sophia?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I can't wait for you to don't go too good because you might be doing the regular hosting after a while on this thing. All right. We got with us Shawna Fallon, the Principal Gift Officer. How you doing, Shawna?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming in. Dr. Diane Wintz, Medical Director of Trauma and Generational Health. How you doing there, Dr. Wintz?
Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to hear all the great contact. And joining you also is Kelly Wright, RN and Manager of Generational Health for Sharp Memorial Hospital. How's it go, Kelly? Good stuff?
Doing fantastic. Thank you and good morning.
Absolutely. I think we're going to start off with a question from Sophia to... Who are you going to ask this to? Any one of them, right?
Yeah, so what is the mission of your organization?
Thank you for asking, Sophia. I will be representing not only Sharp Memorial, but also Sharp HealthCare in general. But our mission at Sharp is to improve the health of those that we serve with a commitment to excellence in all that we do. And we are known across the community as what we call the 3 Bs, the best place to work, the best place to receive care, and the best place to practice medicine within San Diego.
That's great. How long have you been with the organization?
About 28 years.
Okay. All right. Kelly, how long have you been with the organization?
Yes, I have been with Sharp Memorial Hospital for 14 years now.
14 years. And Dr. Wintz, how about you? I think you're probably the newest of the group, correct?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. And where were you before?
I was in Baltimore, Maryland at Hopkins Bayview, and then I trained at UT Houston.
All right, very good. So who wants to tackle what is generational health? Who wants to take that one on?
I'll take it on.
Very good.
This is Dr. Wintz. Generational health is healthcare for all ages and stages of adult life. We really like to look at the whole person that we're taking care of. Your illness, injury, or the surgery that you're going to have, it's one moment of your life, and it's not necessarily reflective of all the things that matter to you and all of the goals that you have in life. Many times when I'm counseling patients, they will tell me that they still have chapters left to write. And what they're looking for is to get out of the hospital and resume their functional and cognitive independence. And that is the goal of the program. It's many different aspects of a healthcare pathway to get you to that goal of restoration.
Right. And does that include mental health as well?
It does. We have a collaboration with our on-campus behavioral health unit, Sharp Mesa Vista. And Sharp Mesa Vista has not only inpatient capabilities, but they also have many outpatient programs that are great for peer-to-peer support and preventing social isolation, as well as support of other social determinants of health, which we know impact life in every aspect.
Right, exactly. So, Kelly, you've been with Sharp for 14 years, right? What are some of the things that just jump out at you? Boy, things are a lot different in terms of whether it's generational health or it's hospital stays or everything in between since you got there. What would you say some of the biggest changes are, or are they?
I think Sharp is unique. We have a culture that is inclusive. We really promote leaders within. We have opportunities. We have a collaborative team environment, and that's why we work there. We have the Sharp experience. So that's just, It's not something that you just do. It's something that you make people feel, and it can't be taught. So we're really mindful of who we're working with and who our team players are. And so for me, that's been the reason not only why I work there, but that translates to patient care as well. So how we treat our patients and why they can continue to come back.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And we've had a lot of folks on from Sharp, and the thing they say is what you do. They always talk about culture. And we all know that culture translates to customer experience or patient experience on that, which is great. And, so Shawna, your job is to raise money. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I am Principal Gifts Officer for the system, and I work with a myriad of incredible donors across Sharp. And I will share that the reason why Generational Health was launched, of course, the passion of Dr. Wintz, but it was because we were able to connect Dr. Wintz and her passion and her dream to create this incredible program with one of our most generous donors. And this particular donor gave the seed money from which we were able to launch Generational Health. And this person continued to support the program to the point where she made a naming gift to name the John M. Sachs Family Center for Generational Health.
Nice. Now, Dr. Wintz, are other hospitals doing generational health as well, or are they calling it something different?
The Sharp system is building all of these aspects of generational health at all of the campuses, which is a really exciting time for our clientele. But as you look nationwide, there is a need to develop geriatric focused care in all healthcare organizations. And what I love about being a part of Sharp is that we are invested in supporting our peers and colleagues in building their programs. We have developed curriculum. We do national and international presentations on this topic all the time. And we have a real investment in education and promotion because if we are lucky, we are all going to get there. And we are all going to need this care focus at some point in our lives.
Yeah, I'm there. So, but a lot more gas in the tank, I hope. We're chatting with our friends from Sharp Memorial Hospital and Sharp HealthCare. We got Shawna Fallon, the Principal Gift Officer, joined by our colleagues, Dr. Diane Wintz, Medical Director of Trauma and Generational Health, and Kelly Wright, RN and Manager of Generational Health. Joined by my co-host, Sophia Lee. She is a student filmmaker. Drew Schlosberg, you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're now in our 19th year. Happy to do so, brought by the wonderful folks of Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades. Been doing great things in San Diego County, from food insecurity to financial literacy to art and everything in between. Sophia, got another question for our group?
Yeah, so what programs are offered by Generational Health?
Absolutely. We have 7 domains, which actually match our 7 pillars at Sharp HealthCare. We have the Sharp Generational Health, and it's the Family Center for Generational Health as gifted by the Sachs family.
Right.
That includes the emergency department and our trauma service line that Dr. Wintz oversees. We also have a healthy aging program that is really designed to keep you as healthy and active as possible. It looks at the 4 M's, which are medications, mentation, what matters most, and mobility. So really emphasizing that independence where somebody came from. We also have a geriatric surgery program, which is an accreditation from the American College of Surgeons. And we are pleased to announce that we did receive that verification this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We're very excited. We're one of the first in Southern California to actually receive that designation. We have an advanced illness management program, which focuses on designing a care plan that fits the person that is coming to our hospital. So really focusing on what matters and aligning a care plan and empowering people to make decisions that work for them. And that can go all the way from healthy to end of life. And we partner with the community, our Allison DeRose facility on prehabilitation and external community efforts as well.
So Sharp's been around for quite a while. And I imagine just because of your vibe and your hip to your hop and how, consumer oriented you are, patient oriented, however you want to call it, client oriented. And that just means more, not just the folks that are in your care, but the ones you work with, obviously. And you, Shawna, you work with a ton of businesses and different groups on this. But I imagine that you'll see, no pun intended, generations of folks. So, hey, my grandfather used to come here, or great-grandfather, and talk about that, Dr. Wintz, on how wonderful it is that you'll see just families. Well, I'm going to have my kids here, my grandkids, and so forth.
Many people see a hospital building as a beacon event in their lives. And it can be anything from the birth of a child to the end-of-life care for a grandparent. Even walking into the hospital, there's a smell, there's a feel, there's a sound, there's all of this sensory information that we're processing all the time. And it's a very emotional, invested experience that people have when they walk in the door. And so from the moment that they enter until the time it's ready to do that discharge out of our facility, we are connected not just to our patient, but also to their family or their supportive partners, or even those who don't seem to have that sense of community. We actually provide that through our healthcare partner system. So every patient has representation, has someone advocating for them and really pushing their healthcare story forward so that they can get back to their regular healthy life.
Yeah, and anybody who has gone through any type of health issues know that the confidence they have in their doctors, in their hospital, and their caregivers is just absolutely paramount. I mean, that sounds like an obvious statement, but we all know there are many challenges. We're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. And I also want to talk about, some of the advantages of generational health, why that is so good. And then we always save time in the second half of the interview. What can our listeners do to support your efforts? What can they do to, bring in zillions of dollars to Shawna, okay, which brings zillions of dollars in services to you folks? What else do you need? Do you need volunteers? Do you need people that can help in different areas? So give some thought to that when we return with Shawna Fallon, Principal Gift Officer for Sharp HealthCare, joined by Dr. Diane Wintz, Medical Director of Trauma and Generational Health, and Kelly Wright, RN, and Manager of Generational Health, joined by my co-host, Sophia Lee, student filmmaker. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We're now in our 19th year as a community podcast brought to you by the very cool folks at Mission Fed Credit Union. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are back with our friends from Sharp Memorial Hospital and Sharp HealthCare. Shawna Fallon, Principal Gift Officer, Dr. Diane Wintz, Medical Director of Trauma and Generational Health, and Kelly Wright, RN and Manager of Generational Health, joined by my very cool co-host, Sophia Lee. She's a student filmmaker. And I think, Sophia, you got another question for the group.
Yeah, what difference does generational health make?
We'll start with you on that one,
Oh,
Doctor.
we're fighting over this question, but I'll go. Yeah.
No, please fight. Please fight over it. We'll start with you on that Dr. Wintz.
So, generational health changed the healthcare standard. It used to be that you came into the hospital and everything that you needed done, diagnostics and therapeutics, were offered to you at a time that was convenient to the healthcare team and convenient for the facility functioning. We try to not do that anymore for our aging population because what we know is that there are certain restorative processes that happen even in a hospital setting that we need to preserve. And those are things that they're all the obvious things. The sleep hygiene is very important. So I don't want my patients in generational health going for an MRI at 3 a.m. I don't want them getting a bath at 4 a.m. I really want sleep preserved between that midnight hour and 6 a.m., 6 hours of protected, uninterrupted, or minimally interrupted sleep so that in the morning, everyone is ready for the physical and occupational therapies, the skilled interventions with speech-language pathology, and ready for the day of activities that is going to greet them. It's almost like being at camp or somewhere else where it's intended to be for you. It's for your wellness. It's for your experience. And in order to provide it that way, we really have to be on a schedule that matches what is going to be best for your health.
I was so glad to hear that. My father was a medical doctor, and I was in L.A. He was at Cedars-Sinai and all those, and had a practice in Beverly Hills. And I used to ask him, how come when you're in the hospital, they're waking up at 2 a.m. to do a test? He goes, I don't know. My dad passed away many years ago, so he'd probably be saying, hats off to you, Dr. Wintz, for getting it and all that business and so forth. And we know that, and I'll direct this question to you, Dr. Wintz, and you can pass it on to your colleagues on it. One of the things that I'm not sure, Sophia, if you've ever been in a hospital at all, but it can be very intimidating, to say the least. That, you folks, you work around it. I've been around it because of my dad, so it's not as intimidating. But for someone who's never been in a hospital before and it's their first experience, how do you calm people down, Dr. Wintz, so when it's their first time in a hospital?
Well, we have to remind ourselves of that because for us, this is a job. This is a place where we go to work. And so just like anyone else who's reporting to work, you have your good days, you have your bad days. But when I walk through the doors of the building, I try to remind myself that even though I may have done this thing 100 times in the last week, this is someone's very first time with this experience, and they don't know the medical language and they don't speak the lingo. And it's very scary if every time someone approaches you, they're armed with a needle or a scalpel and they're about to do something to your body and you don't understand it. So we try our very best to provide that full gamut of informed consent and making sure that if you don't know what questions to ask, then the best thing that I can say to you is, here are the questions that most people ask about this.
Yeah.
Or let me tell you what I would ask if I were in your position. And then that way the pressure's off and we can just have open dialogue.
Yeah, no, I think that's great. And, Kelly, you deal with a lot of patients as well. What's your best way of calming folks down?
Sitting with them, just saying hello, introducing myself, trying to figure out what they already understand. And first, just going through what your culture, what your language is so that we can understand each other. I mean, the primary aspect that we need to first understand is how we communicate. And that's with verbal and nonverbal communication. So the way that I present my body, I don't, nobody wants to stand over somebody. So just leveling, having a one-on-one conversation, using a translator, talking about health literacy, things like that, that really put you on the same playing field when you're in the hospital, that we are the same. And I am here for you just as I would any family member. So what does that look like to you? And then we as a team will design the care plan that fits for you as an individual.
Yeah. Did you want to add something to it, Shawna?
I would love to add something
Please.
to it. In addition to everything else that these two amazing women and our team at Sharp HealthCare provide, we have a program called Arts for Healing. And this is also supported 100% by philanthropy. And it's bringing art and music therapy to the bedside. This costs the patients and their families nothing. You might find that you walk through the lobby of Sharp Memorial Hospital and hear of one of our volunteers playing guitar, like acoustic guitar on a stool, or someone playing piano. We have volunteers that go into the rooms and provide art projects for those folks who are sitting in a bed, having nothing better to do but than to look at a clock and wait for the next person to come in and, poke them or feed them. It really helps to ease the anxiety of not only our patients, but their families.
Yeah, well, there's no question about it. And nothing like soothing music, or maybe not soothing music, maybe some great blues out there to get somebody all geeked up in that aspect of it. You can tell where I'm interested in these different types of things. Sophia, another question for the group?
Yeah, so what are the greatest challenges facing those you serve today?
Start with you on that, Kelly.
Sure. Well, I think volume is the greatest challenge. And then the other barrier that we've been able to mitigate is time. So we have spent a lot of time understanding that the volume is increasing because our generations are changing. And the way that we meet people's needs through generational health is putting the right people in place to see and to consult and to care for as many people, but with the same quality. So that's training as many staff members as possible, really focusing on what they understand, what makes an older adult unique. How do we develop pathways that somebody doesn't have to ask for, it just happens? And every person that is contacted in the hospital understands and is on the same page. So it works seamlessly. It's like a well-oiled ship that you don't have to ask for, it just happens. And that's how you take care with high quality, a large volume of people.
Something that's really interesting, that's near and dear to our heart, and that is when you talk about different types of careers. I always use the example when I worked for the Union Tribune, only 1/8 of the people that worked for the Union Tribune were writers. The rest of us were doing marketing or selling the paper or doing graphics and all that. You look at the hospital, yes, the doctors are important, to say the least, and the nurses, but there's a lot of other folks that are in that well-oiled organization, as you're talking about Dr. Wintz.
I think there's literature that shows that it's about 200 people a day that interface with a single patient. And when you think about the magnitude of that, there may only be one medical doctor on that team. And I always look at it as my work as a physician is actually minimal in the scheme of getting you out of the hospital. In many cases, you need active therapy interventions. You need resource verification. You need validation that your home environment or wherever you're going is going to fit your needs. And those aren't things that physicians do. That's not part of the skill set. That comes from other experts on the team. And so part of the success of generational health is that the experts self-identified to be a part of this team, and then they built their part of the program in their area of expertise so that we have this multifaceted program that's great, but it's also been built with the concept of what is really available with each team member rather than being an administrative order from the top. You have to do this. it was more like we wanted to build this. And that really is the cultural change that made all the difference.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast on our 19th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County. So honored to have in the studio with us our friends from Sharp Memorial Hospital and Sharp HealthCare, Shawna Fallon, Principal Gift Officer, Dr. Diane Wintz, Medical Director of Trauma and Generational Health, and Kelly Wright, RN and Manager of Generational Health. So I'll start with you on this, Shawna, and then we'll go around the horn on this. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
What a wonderful question. You may or may not know this, but Sharp is a 501c3 not-for-profit. We are not for profit, but we are all for the people. And we have a very robust philanthropic program throughout all of Sharp Healthcare. There are many of very wonderful, dedicated development professionals in each of our hospitals. We rely very much on our community to support the many programs. It isn't just bricks and mortar, but is, obviously to what we've been discussing, programs like Generational Health. Again, it got started through a donor, and other programs that everything that comes into Sharp goes back to the community. No. And we will never ever close our doors. We will always serve the community.
No, that sounds great. Kelly, how about you?
Well, I think we are so grateful for what we have built and for the donors that we've had. And to explain the impact cannot solely be done in words. It is something that has transformed our organization and beyond. And that gift is it's not solely a financial giving. It is career growth. It is teamwork. It is this culture that is a ripple effect across the entire county and country and beyond. I mean, we presented in Dublin where they said, look at Sharp and what they're doing. So I think for me, it's what can be done is just the support, the cultural support, the recognition that people want to be in the care, the understanding for us that we are providing that great care and presenting our outcomes, and really that's what it's about. But we have so much more to do. We have a brilliant mind here, and Dr. Wintz is a pioneer in healthcare and just in the world. So I think there's endless opportunity for us if we're really given the opportunity to thrive. And that's what we're doing and focusing on for the future.
Good. Well, we'll give you that opportunity. Dr. Wintz, what can we do for you?
Well, when you invest in a program that has sustainability, you're also ensuring a legacy tradition that is not only attributed to you, but is gifted because of you, and is supportive of the generations to come. It's a great support to put any degree of philanthropy into generational health because, as we know, we are all growing older. That is the course of life. And in investing in this program, it's not only sustainable, but it will eventually serve you and it will serve your loved ones behind you.
And the ones behind them and the ones behind them and so forth and so forth. I've got a request to ask you guys, and I don't want to break any HIPAA laws, but we've done this before. If we'd love to have you come back, first of all, somewhere down the road, but would love to bring a family or somebody that has benefited from generational health, okay? And they can sign the thing to say, Drew didn't make me come in and all that business. And if you're interested, that's the street cred. You guys have enough credibility as it is, but now there's the ones who have benefited from that. Can you guys make that happen?
We would certainly love to do that. Specifically for a surgical patient, since we are first in Southern California to have the American College of Surgeons Geriatric Surgery Verification Level 1 completed, we will bring a post-surgical patient back to talk about program.
Beautiful. Consider that a done deal. You'll get an email from me and we'll get that set up. Shawna Fallon, Dr. Diane Wintz, and Kelly Wright, what a pleasure talking to you folks from Sharp Memorial Hospital and Sharp HealthCare. Sophia Lee, how'd you enjoy your co-hosting?
It was all right.
It is all right.
No.
Good. You know what? We're going to step it up a notch on the next one. How's that sound? Right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, that sounds good. Anyway, enjoyed the conversation. You've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.